Ever feel like you're always getting the sugar-coated version of what an area is like, but you want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I get that feeling all the time. So today, I'm going to address the top 7 reasons someone should not move to Deland, Florida. Now, these are not necessarily in any particular order. However, the 7th reason not to move to Deland is one that you may not have considered, so be sure to stick around for that one. I'm Chuck Shaver, and I'm a local realtor with the Shaver Group at Keller Williams Heritage Realty here in Central Florida. And in this channel, we do all sorts of video about what it's like to work, sleep, eat, or whatever here in Central Florida. If that's the information you want, then make sure you tap that subscribe and click that little bell down below so that you're notified every time I do a new video just like this. Of course, if you're thinking of moving to Central Florida, you can just call me directly. So let's get into those 7 reasons not to move to Deland, Florida. First, it should be noted that I love Deland, and it's a great little town. But there is very little to do in Deland. Want nightlife? Want options for shopping? How about a variety of restaurants? Nope, you won't find any of those here. Now, yes, there are a few restaurants and bars around, and a few of them are pretty nice. But if you want a variety, you'll need to head over towards Daytona Beach or down to Sanford for a real variety. Crest Restaurant and Da Vinci's is about as high society as we get around here, and I love both of those places. There's plenty of shopping, but again, you may well need to spend 30 minutes on the road in search of what you are looking for. Since so many people come to Florida just for our beaches, you should be aware that the closest beach is still about 30 minutes away, and that may not even get your toes in the sand, but rather into the congestion of Daytona or New Smyrna beaches. You know, I've sat in the traffic over in New Smyrna for like 30 minutes, and it's a tiny little town. Want some of that crystal clear water on those beautiful beaches that you've seen in advertisements? Well, that's way over on the west coast of Florida, and that's like a 2-hour ride. Isn't Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, and all that just down the road? Nope, that's an hour away. Well, an hour is without that Orlando traffic, so you've really got a 50-50 shot of making it to Disney in an hour and a 50-50 shot that it's going to take you, an hour and a half. You may think that it wouldn't matter, and some of the locals right here in Deland do it all the time. But trust me, I live here in this area, and it does matter to some of us. Next, you've seen the beautiful pictures of Deland, Stetson University, the beautiful downtown district, the residential historic section, or maybe Victoria Park, and these are great places to live. But don't be misled, because there are parts of Deland that some people don't even want to drive through. Yes, Deland is the county seat and what I'd consider the most desirable city in this area. But I haven't heard people with the same claim in other neighboring cities like Orange City or even down in Deltona. As such, if you're thinking of moving to Deland, Florida, do some driving around yourself and check this stuff out. Number 3, cockroaches. Well, technically they're palmetto bugs, but they can be about 2 inches long and they are nasty. I don't care how clean you keep your home or how good your pest control guy is. They are a reality of life here in Florida, and I believe that you are fooling yourself if you think that they are in or around your home too. Now, to be truthful, I usually play this down. But that's usually so that whoever I'm with doesn't get hurt trying to get away from them or break something trying to kill them. As such, I usually end up being the one dancing around the kitchen with a newspaper or whatever I can find to quickly kill that thing. I've gotten used to them, and most of us do. Well, we usually just try to pretend that they don't live near us, and that just kind of makes all of us feel better about ourselves, I guess. Number 4, the heat. Now, if you live up in Minnesota, Ohio, or Michigan, where I'm from, and you've got snow in the ground, now you may be telling me to get over myself, and I get that. In the winters, Deland has fantastic weather, but there are 6 months of heat from like mid-April to mid-October, and they can really be unbearable. Yes, swimming pools are a common occurrence in homes here, and the beaches do provide some relief, but don't believe that lows in the mid-70s and high in the mid to upper 90s don't get old. Want to spend the day outside, maybe do some fishing, some hiking, or anything outdoors that matter? Well, you'd better stay hydrated and understand that your body simply won't hold up like it does when the highs are in the 60s, 70s, or even in the 80s. If you look up Deland, Florida on a map, it may look like we're so close to the beach that we'd have nice, cool ocean breezes. But don't believe all that mess for a minute, because it's just not the case. Number 5 is really the inverse of number 4, and it's the one that most northerners don't even think of. It freezes here, especially out on the west side of town. Most people see Central Florida as some sort of tropical oasis, but that's a bunch of baloney. When I had a home build here many years ago, I brought out my inner green thumb and I started planting all kinds of citrus trees. When the deer weren't eating those fresh leaves, the trees were dying off whenever we'd have a good freeze. Now, some years we didn't even have a good freeze, but other years it'll freeze like, 4 or 5 times. And although I do take quite a bit of time and effort to cover up those trees with lights and all that stuff, it's really usually a losing battle. I purchased key lime trees right here in Deland, only to have them die from a freeze in the first couple years. There are some people here in Deland that are able to protect some of those gorgeous palms or crotons or whatnot. But most of that beautiful stuff that survives is over towards the beaches or down south of Orlando. Number 6, hurricanes. Yes, we have those too. While Deland is inland and the brunt of those Gulf or Atlantic storms can be way worse over on the beaches, don't let anyone tell you that they don't have an impact on us. Hurricanes can cause severe flooding and they can knock out power for weeks at a time. Not to mention the downed trees that fall all around and sometimes on rooftops, like a friend of mine recently had to deal with. It was a total loss. Yes, generators can help, but they don't always get you air conditioning, a hot shower, or take the dampness out of the severe humidity that often faces us here in Deland. I love my family, but one hurricane that left us without power for 2 weeks really tested that relationship. Plus, every time we have a hurricane come through, it seems like our homeowners insurance rates jump up through the roof as another insurance carrier leaves the state. Number 7 is the traffic. Now maybe you've heard one of my other videos where I talk about how the traffic is nothing like it is down in Sanford, Lake Mary, or Orlando. But just like the great philosopher Bob Dylan once said, the times they are a-changin'. The intersection of Spring Garden in 1792 or MLK and 44 are exhibits A and B. Try getting through those intersections in just one light change during the morning or afternoon ride to work. While the roundabout down at MLK and Orange Camp has helped, that's one area that we can really see how traffic is a problem for us here in Deland. Deland is still a small town and traffic isn't necessarily a major consideration like some areas, but by the time you watch this video, it may be a thing throughout all of Deland and not just at 8 a.m. or 5:30 p.m. Maybe I'm just being crabby, or maybe I just don't want more congestion here. But these 7 things are complaints that I've actually heard. The truth is that I love Deland and I love this entire area. And I've learned to love Deland in spite of these issues. And there are a few others as well that I could have included here. But I also believe that before people move to this area, they should consider these 7 reasons not to move to Deland, Florida. If you have another reason not to move to Deland, please put that in the comment section below. If you have questions about Deland or have real estate needs anywhere here in Central Florida, either call me directly or leave a comment below. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.